Hello and welcome to the show. Today I'm out and about as usual, so expect to hear some interruptions in the background. Before we begin, shout out to Emmanuel Ojegbola, who is a graphic and product design specialist who lives in Ife in Osun State. So definitely, he's my homeboy because that is where I had my undergrad degree from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile Ife, the coolest place in Nigeria because the weather is just wonderful, really, really wonderful. So it's a nice part of the country to go to. Well, at least it was a nice part of the country to live in when I was in OAU I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. I can't remember. I don't know if the town has changed. Healthy, bat population, all kinds of local flora and fauna. So it was real nice. Anyway, so Emmanuel Ojegbola discovered the show on Spotify, reached out to me on LinkedIn. So, Emmanuel, the shout out is for you. Thank you very much for listening to the show. I'm glad that you derive value from it. So, keep on listening and also please share the podcast with other people who are going to find value to the show as well. And please share it with people, share it with our brethren and our sistren. If sistren is a word. Share it with our brothers and sisters in Ile-Ife so that they can learn and boost their businesses as well. Because Ile-Ife is a quiet, sleepy town, so it's mostly civil service and private enterprise. I say it's kind of like 50-50. So that's it. That's a shout out for today. Then, let me see. Okay, so yesterday we started looking at Wonder Woman from Makurdi, a wonderful Wonder Woman from Makurdi. By the way, Wonder Woman is not her real name. I'm just using it because I don't have permission for her to use her real name. And the podcast episode that I made yesterday was just me saying some things to Wonder Woman in code. Because even though we've been chatting, there are some things that I wanted to say directly, but anyway, I didn't. So now I'm just saying it in code. So if Wonder Woman, if you're listening to this show right now and you are thinking, is this me? Yes, this episode is definitely about you and for you, but I'm still making the episode because for other people who are listening, there are some people who might have similar circumstances, whether male or female, and they'll be able to relate to some of the things that we talk about over here on the podcast. Now, for Wonder Woman, her challenge was that she wants to actualize her business, but she can't do that because of a lack of funds. So that led to us tackling the central question yesterday's podcast episode, on whether lack of funds actually is the main issue for businesses to move forward. Oh, before we continue, if you'd love to connect with me, the phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234. For those of you who are not Nigerian, that's my WhatsApp number as well. Then also connect with me on socials. I am on LinkedIn as Tavishima Ayede. You can find me on YouTube as Tavishima Ayede as well. So, lack of funds, yes. Is that the main reason why businesses are not moving forward? Yeah, American universities seem to think that that's the main problem, and the average Nigerian definitely think that that's the main problem, that your business is not growing, is not expanding, and in Wonder Woman's case, the reason why she cannot deliver more soups, more meats, more smoothies, more pasta, more pounded yam, more black soup, more egusi soup, more everything is because of lack of funds. Now, there are a few people like me and some others in the business community, not in the academic community, so those of us in the business community who believe that, look, lack of funds is not the problem, but rather we have lack of sales and business development skills. Because if you had sales and business development skills, you are going to be able to plug all the financing and fund acquisition problems. And so we looked at some traditional business finance options yesterday. We spoke about grants, we spoke about bootstrapping, we spoke about sales and revenue, equity and loans. For those of you who are new to the podcast and this is your first episode, yeah, this sounds like it's a lot, but after you're done listening to this episode, listen to yesterday's episode and you'll get caught up to speed. You'll understand everything, and hopefully the examples that I used yesterday would not be too confusing. But since some of you might be listening to this for the first time, let me just give a small rundown. A grant basically is when somebody says, guy or babe, your business is good, take this money, I dash you, you don't have to pay me back. That's a grant. Grant just means I dash you. By the way, in case you haven't figured out, all the definitions that we use on this podcast are very everyday, simple definitions. So my definitions here are not technically precise. The reason why I'm not using technically precise definitions is because I want to use a definition that you guys will just understand and will be able to act on immediately. So if I use the technically precise definition of a grant, the kind of definition they would have taught us when we were in law school back in the day, you might be faced with some opportunities and then you're wondering, is this a grant? Abi is not a grant. Is this a grant? Abi is not a grant. Looking for fine print. But if you understand that grant just means I dash you, go and prosper, then no matter how large the document is, once you read it and you understand that, oh, this money will come to me, I'm not paying any loan back, they're not asking for equity, okay, there's some small restrictions, but essentially these people are dashing me money, you'll be able to know that, okay, confidently, yes, this is a grant, and then you will apply. So that is why I use simple everyday definitions. So grant just means I dash you. Bootstrapping, that is when you finance the business because you have some small savings. You check your purse, you check your bank account, go and beg momsy and popsy, anyhow, you just gather the money. That's what bootstrapping means. Bootstrapping just means I gathered the money. So option 1, grant, them dash me. Option 2, bootstrapping, I shall gather the money. Then option 3, sales and revenue. That means you go and you sell something. So in Wonder Woman's case, you sell some smoothie, some pasta, some egusi, some roast chicken, some roast this and some this and this and that and that. You take the profit that you get and then you throw it back into the business. That's option 3. That's also another way that you can finance your business. Option 4 is equity. That is when somebody will drop money and then the person will now be your partner. The person will take a share in the business. And yesterday, that's what I was hinting at when I said I'm finally going to answer this question. Now for babes, for Nigerian babes, and for babes in the similar culture, Nigerian babes, Ghanaian babes, Sierra Leone babes, Cameroon babes, what else? South African babes, Indian babes, those of us who we have kind of similar cultures. Polish babes, Polands, because Polish people are basically just Nigerians. It's just that they have white skin. So Polish babes, Nigerian babes, Indian babes, should you enter into business with your boyfriend, with your toaster, with somebody who is cutting you eye, with somebody who maybe is liking, all those sorts of things. So I'm going to tackle those sorts of questions at the end of this episode because Wonder Woman has someone and she says that they're just friends. But I've been around for a while, so I don't believe this because the guy wants to drop money in the business and anyway, she says they're just friends. So for the sake of argument, we'll take it that they're just friends. But I don't believe that. For her, yeah. I know for her, he's just a friend. But for him, anyway, let me just leave it like that. So that's where equity comes in. Somebody drops the money, but then now the person wants to be your business partner. And, we're going to be 50-50 or going to be 70-30 and we'll take a split of the profits and blah, blah, blah. So basically, I own a share of the business. And then loan is when somebody drops money and the person doesn't want to share of your business. But this person says, look, you must pay me back. So, okay, I'm giving you 500K. And you say, oh, thank you very much. And he said, no, this one is not a matter of thank you. It's a loan. It's a loan. It's now borrow, they borrow you. So I'm giving you 500K now. But February next year, you have to give me 750K back. So that is a loan. The person gives you 500K. Next year, the person wants 750K. Meaning that 250K is the interest that you pay on the loan. So traditionally, this is how you finance business. So, the first part of what I'm going to do now, when we're talking about Wonder Woman, is just to show how if you try and develop some sales and business development skills, you see how you can use those skills to overcome these challenges. So I'm just trying to show how the lack of the money is not the problem. The problem is the lack of the skills that you need to go and chase that money. So skill up first, then it'll be easier to get the money. By the way, realistic expectations. Because I'm saying everything is sounding smooth and sounding simple does not mean that when you try to do this thing, it will be smooth and simple. There's nothing that works 100% of the time, and there's nothing that works the first time. Like, we're going to look at grants now. I know some people who have got business grants, but who have tried 5, 6, 7 times. I also was at a SMEs event where one of the heads of SMEs was talking about business grants, and there was a woman in the crowd, not even woman herself, as in a small girl, NYSC person, and she gave testimony. I think by then she had gotten SMEs loans, I think close to like 10M, for her businesses. She was serving in Osun State. I think she was lives in Lagos but serving in Osun. And she had gotten loans close to 10M. And the lady was applying for the very first time. So, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it happens. There are people who apply day one, and then the thing will click. And then there are some people that will apply in 2001, 0, 2002, 0, 2003, 0, maybe 2010, something will click. So these things happen. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but skill up and take action. Any which way it falls, we thank God. If it takes you 7 years, we thank God. 7 years is better than nothing. If it takes you 1 year, we thank God. If you apply the very first day, they answer you in 3 weeks. Either way, we thank God, and then you do the best that you can do. So, like I said, today we're going to look at how sales and business development skills can help Wonder Woman or any other person in Wonder Woman's situation. You have this small business you're trying to run. You're into cuisine, you're into catering. You do snacks, soup, pounded yam, roasted meat, peppered antelope, what else? Pasta, kunu, all the nice, good stuff. And you think your business is not moving because of lack of funds. What are you going to do? So with the traditional options that we've laid out now, option 1, like I said, is grant. Now remember, my definition of grants just means they dash you. They've given you money. There's no need to pay me back. Remember, this is not the correct technical definition of the term. I just want a very simple definition. So grant is, I dash you. There's no need to pay me back. Now, even though grant means I dash you and there's no need to pay me back, excuse me, usually there will be some conditions that you have to qualify, because people who are doing grants, they usually have some mission or some special thing that is at the back of their mind that they are trying to promote. Luckily, Wonder Woman, from the name that I selected, is obviously a woman. And the good thing is, these days, it is a whole lot easier to find grants that are aimed at promoting women-owned businesses. So there are some grants that the money they are dropping is, this money is supposed to help young women living between Lagos and Osun, between the ages of so that they can build their farming business. So in that case, if you're a woman, yes, but you are based in Zamfara, and maybe your business is construction, okay, you will not be able to get the loan, because the person that is dropping the money from the loan for the grant, for whatever reason, the thing that is behind their heart is, I want girls who are in the farming industry to be able to build their agricultural businesses. So that is just it. People who come up with grants, usually they have some spiritual mission that they're trying to achieve. So because of that, there will be some conditions that you either meet or you will not meet. So that's just the catch. The money is free. It is dash. There's no need to pay back, but you have to meet whatever the qualifications are before they dash you that money. Oh, and then of course, they also want to make sure that when they dash you that money, that you use it for its intended purpose. So if, let me see. Okay, so if you're a young man and there's a grant, for instance, that is aimed at young men in agriculture in maybe Plateau State, for instance. If you take the grant, and instead of using that money to go and do agricultural business, use that money to go and marry 5 wives, what you have done is you have run foul of the terms of the grant. You have not done right by the person who issued the grant, by the organization that issued the grant. So they are concerned to make sure that the money is spent on the purposes that they intended it for. So those of you young men who go and collect grant and then you use the grant to build house, that's a problem. If the grant said it is to promote young men to enter into the catfish industry, then use the money for catfish. Don't take the money and build house. If the grant is for young women so that they can succeed in their agricultural business, don't take the grant and then give it as a loan to your husband for his own business. That is not what the grant is for. So use grants for the purposes that they were intended. Now, what are the sales skills that are needed to help Wonder Woman lock in this grant, or anybody lock in this grant. So you're going to need a couple of sales skills. Number one is prospecting. Prospecting in sales just means who might be interested in my product or my service, who is my ideal customer, blah, 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 all those sorts of things. So in this case, prospecting now, if you're thinking about grants, is basically just researching grant options. Who are the people out there who are looking to dash money to people like me? That is a sales skill. Because we wake up every day and we're trying to figure out, I gotta make some money. Where can I make my money? Where will I get this money from? So if you're waking up and you're thinking about getting a grant, it's also a sales skill. So we're going to have to do some research. Now, for the research, you can look at local NGOs, non-governmental organizations. You can check their websites. Just do a Google search. You'll be able to find some things. Then there are some bodies that have grants like the UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program or something like that. Please, I haven't been in school for a while, so if I'm giving the wrong definition of UNDP, I beg no vex. But you can go and check it on Google. UNDP, I think it's United Nations Development Program. Then there's also the IFC, the International Finance Corporation. International Finance Corporation. They also have some grants that they give out. Then World Bank. I hear that people in Abuja are cashing out on World Bank grants and loans and things like that. No, that's what I hear. I have not seen, but I have heard. Eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. But anyway, don't mind me. That's a Christian joke. And if you're not born again, you won't catch that one. So, where was I? So World Bank. Then I also spoke about the SMEs event that I was at, where the what do you call him? SMEs, is it president or be chairman or any the head or SMEs was there, and they're talking about some of their grants, and somebody in the crowd gave testimony. And so SMEs, yes, they also give out grants as well. So that's also something you can research. You can start from Google. And for SMEs, they have okay spread as per they're in a couple of states in the federation, so their spread is okay. They're not in all 36 states of the federation, but you should be able to reach one with some effort. You should be able to reach one. I think they have an office in Makudi, so Wonder Woman can actually go in there, because Wonder Woman is based in Makudi, so she can actually go into the SMEs office and then see how far. So they have in Lagos, they have in Makudi, they have in Abuja. I'm not sure where else, but I know that they try to be in every single region of the federation, even if they're not in every single state. Then Bank of Industry, BOI, they also have women focused funds as well. For those of us who watch local TV, pay attention to Channels TV, AI TV, those sorts of stations. SMEs and BOI, they usually run programs, usually in the evening, maybe like after news. Okay, let's say nighttime, maybe like after news, maybe like around that kind 10 or so. They always do programs about their successful projects that they've been involved in and things like that. So you should be able to get more education and also get more contact details on who to on which office to approach. Then you can also pay attention to churches, because you'd be surprised that your local church might also have a grant. I mean, a case in question is my former church. That's when I was based in Lagos, St. Leo's Church in Ikeja. Now, I am not telling those of you who are in Lagos to rush to St. Leo's and go and ask about business grant. I'm just telling you that while I was there a very, very, very long time ago, I know that there was a while where they gave out some business grants. Although the church, the grants that they give out now, I think are much more education based. So I dash you this money, but this money is meant to go for school fees for people in tertiary institutions. And then, of course, you're not going to pay back that money. But you can see what I was saying, that the church, in giving out this money, the thing that's at the back of their chest is they want people to go to school. So if you're a young man, you go there and you collect the grant and you now use it to marry your wife. That's not what the grant is made for. So take the grant and use it for what it is. So those are sources of grants that are available to people like Wonder Woman in Makudi, assuming that they want to cure their business financing problems by using a grant. Now, I went online and I did some small research, and it's very sexy research because it has turned out some really good stuff. So I'm going to share this with you guys, particularly people who are Wonder Woman's situation. As per, you're a woman, you're trying to build your business, and then you're looking for a grant. So I was able to find two really exciting, really interesting programs that I'm going to share here right now. So women listening, get your pen and your paper. The first one is the Brave Women Project. That is one of those, one of those women entrepreneur. It's a woman entrepreneurs finance initiative. They have an office in Abuja. So those of you who are in Nasarawa, in Abuja, Plateau, where else, Niger, you can rush down here and, well, check the website first anyway. And the phone number is there. Make a phone call. Be sure that it's going to be worth your while before you spend your TP coming all the way from Niger State into Abuja, only to find out that, nothing for you. So now I have office in Abuja. The website is bravewomennng.com with no space. So Brave is BRAVE, then womennng.com. And in fact, Brave is an acronym for something. I didn't write it down because it was plenty. Business, resilience, or something, and something, long, sharp, but real cool. So they, like I said, it's a woman entrepreneur finance initiative. All they're trying to do is women, with them day. All women involved in business, with them day. Let's give them money. And I think that's a really, really cool initiative. So bravewomennng.com. Go have a look at it. And remember what I said, please. People who are giving grants have some spiritual mission that they're trying to fulfill. Use the money for its purpose. Nigerians would like to abuse things. If you young women go and you take this thing and you abuse it, these people will close shop and then do, move to another country or something, or start paying attention to other things. So please, young women, don't go and take this money and then give it to your boyfriend to start his business, or don't go and take it and use it to buy a house or to pay rent or whatever. The money is meant for financing business. In fact, the name of the group is the Women Entrepreneur Finance Initiative. Need I say any more? It's about financing businesses. So, bravewomennng.com. Then there's another one, Flourish Africa. In fact, that one, the amount of money that they have to give out is 1 billion naira. That's how much that they have to give the grant. But don't let your eye tear. It's not as if they will give you alone 1 billion. It's just that the whole money, the sack of money that they have is 1 billion. So I don't know how they're going to share it. Whether they'll be giving everybody 100K or 200K or 500K or whatever. But the total purse is 1 billion. That's how much they have. And they're also going to finance female entrepreneurs. Now, they have offices in Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. So, yeah, Abuja people, Nasarawa people, Plateau people. Okay, Benue said it's 4 hours away. Benue, you can, book your bus ticket and come down. Niger people, yeah, you can do it. They have offices in Lagos. So if you're in Ibadan, you can get there. If you're in Ilesha, you can get there. Yeah, no problem. Then they also have places in PH. Never been to PH. I don't know that part of the world. So, if you're around PH, then you should be able to get there. So, well, like I said, check the website first, have a look at it, see what kinds of businesses that they are trying to fund. And then there'll be a phone number there, there'll be email addresses. Call and email and do all those things to be sure that there's something in it for you before you waste your TP and come all the way. Because last time I checked, I think for some, all these cool bus companies where you go in Sienna, I think as at December, Sienna prices was like 12K to come to Abuja. That's from Benue State. So before you get your 24K plus accommodation, to come to Abuja, 12K here, 12K back, please call, make sure it's worth your while. So the website is flourishafrica.com. In fact, that one looked the most attractive because they had actual pictures and of women that they have financed before, and they were even looking like women in the age range of excuse me, the age range of Wonder Woman. That's not Wonder Woman, the comic character, as in Wonder Woman, the person that I'm talking to, who's trying to build a catering business in Makudi. So, two delicious websites to look at if you are a woman and you're wondering, where can I get money for my business? And I'm looking for grants. I'm looking for somebody that will say, young girl, we believe in your mission. We believe in your vision. Take this money. I dash you. No need to pay me back. So it's bravewomennng.com. Then flourishafrica.com. Again, no space, no capital, no underscore, no nothing. Just one word. And like I pointed out earlier in the episode, there are going to be some typical conditions that go with this grant. Ownership is one, because these are women-based initiatives. So definitely, once they look at the form and they see Tavishima George Ayede on the form, they'll say, no, this is a guy, council. They will now throw me away. It's not a violation of fundamental human rights or my constitutional rights. They just want to finance women businesses. So if you're a guy, nothing for you. I am not sure about the status of the trans community in Nigeria when it comes to these things. So my guess is you probably can't qualify by saying, oh, my name is no longer Tavishima George. My name is now Georgina. I'm now trans, and you're going to collect money. Then, let's see what else. Okay, sometimes the conditions are around certain business types and sectors. Like I said, some people want to finance only agriculture. Some people want to finance only manufacturing. Some people want to finance only textiles. So check that out. And sometimes it covers location. Both of these organizations that I spoke about, obviously limited to Nigeria. So my Ghanaian sisters listening and my Cameroonian sisters listening, where else? So my sisters in another country, this probably doesn't apply to you. Then some of them also focus on the business stage. Are you at the ideation stage? Ideation is where I'm thinking this is a good idea. I haven't started yet. That is ideation. There are some people who give grants at that stage. You want to enter business, you've not decided, you have one or two good ideas, come forward. Let's hear the idea. Okay, this one sounds good. So take like £400, $400, so you can start that business. Then there are some people who focus on businesses that have achieved product market fit. Product market fit just means that you've gone into the market and you found out that there's a demand and people like this your idea. So some people say, take this money, take £10,000 or take $10,000, go and grow the business now that there's demand. And there are some other people that the businesses that they're looking at is people who have achieved some traction. So like, okay, you already have like 100 customers every month. The goal is now to get 150 customers every month. And then some people just give you grant and say, take this $200 per month, use it and acquire more customers. So, on and on. And then there's some people who have built the business and they just want to scale. For instance, like in Abuja, I know there's one lady I know in particular who her thing is soap. So she has been making soaps, hand wash soap, different kinds of soaps. And she's already in some stores in Abuja. She has done quite well. So for somebody like her, she has gone past ideation, gone past product market fit, there's some traction. So for her now, it's just a matter of scale. So currently, let's say she's in 5 stores. She now wants to enter 10 stores or 20 stores. There are some people who can give grants to say, oh, okay, you're doing, my sister, my daughter, you're doing very, very well. So in order to grow, take this $10,000 and see how you can do some more. Then what other kind of restrictions are there going to be? There are usually restrictions around usage. So sometimes the grant is take this money and expand the business. Some people, the grant is only for working capital. Use it and pay salary, pay rent, put fuel in the generator, manage inventory, those sorts of things. So on and on and on. There are plenty. That's why I said check the website first. See whether the thing makes sense for you and your situation before you send email, call up the people, and before you enter bus and come all the way down to Abuja, Lagos, or Port Harcourt. Then, where was I? So remember, they want you to spend the money on the mission. So some of them are going to have regular updates. So every 2 months, every 3 months, every 1 year, send us email, send us pictures, send us videos, show us progress. We are going to be monitoring you. Or send financial statements, or take pictures of the projects you have accomplished, or let's look for a way to measure the social impact, blah, 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 all that sort of thing. So all those sorts of restrictions are there. Please, don't let this thing scare you. All these conditions and restrictions. It still is a good idea, because this one is as in, grant is dash. Like, they dash you. They didn't ask for a stake in your business, and they didn't say you should pay back. the loan. It's just, some of these small requirements here and there. And then, anyway, let me just leave it at that. So, the sales skills that you will require to make these things happen, like we've spoken about, prospecting skills, which is going out and looking for this money in the first place. And then number two is you're also going to need good presentation skills, good rapport building skills, good reporting skills, blah, 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 all those sorts of things. Those are some of the sales skills that you need. If you're curious about what these things are, just search within the podcast or search on YouTube, use my name, and you'll find podcast episodes where I have made episodes around presentation and proposals, presentations, writing proposals, all those sorts of things. Then another sales skill that you're going to need is ABM. ABM is just acronym for account-based marketing. What that means basically is you're trying to penetrate an enterprise, because let's face it, if you're trying to get a grant from Brave or from Flourish Africa, it's not like going to your local church to go and access a grant, or coming to me one-on-one to get a grant. Because some of these organizations are huge, it's going to feel like it's just you against the multinational or something. So don't worry if they feel or sound that big. There are strategies and there are tips and tricks for penetrating such large organizations, for going in there, gaining advocates within the organizations, for multi-threading. Multi-threading is just when you have multiple different contacts within an organization, because if you try to do business with an organization but you only know one person, then you're on your own, as in oil for you, because anything can happen. And I've given an example on the podcast where I got into one organization and I noticed that the CEO was a thief guy. So I figured, correct, yeah, I'm set, as in I'm thief, the guy is also thief. And we thief boys, when we see ourselves, we're very excited because we don't see too many of ourselves out in the wild. So I was like, correct, no problem. So I became very good friends with the CEO because he's a thief guy. I got very good friends with the operations guy because he went to OAU. And then I also became good friends with one of the program officers who was there. No rapport anyway, but I knew 3 people there. And then a wonderful thing happened. The CEO japa to Japan. I say, hey. Then I started trying to call program officer, and I found out that program officer too has japa. I say, hey. And then the female, head of operations, yes, also japa. And I tried calling the programs officer, the young lady, only to find out she has now left this organization. She's now working with another organization. And that's how I found myself back at 0. I thought I was cool because CEO, no problem, we're relating. Head of operations, we're operating. We're relating. Programs officer, we are relating. I figured yes, no problem. I have 3 contacts here. My entrance into this organization is strong. We'll be able to do some good business in 2023. That was in 2023, by the way. So I said, yes, as we're entering 2023, I'm going to do good business with these people. I already started dreaming of the millions and millions that they will pay me. Only for this jackpot thing to happen, and then everybody that I knew. Okay, well, I didn't know too many people. Just disappeared. So that's what multi-threading is. You can't just go there and know only one person. If you know only one person, it's a risky proposition. And you've seen what happened to me. I knew 3 people, and still, it was a risky proposition. So that is multi-threading. Know 1 or 2, 3 or 4 people here and there. It helps you to pull these deals through. So you're also going to need ABM skills, multi-threading skills, when you're trying to get to Brave or Flourish Africa. So if you go there, you get to Brave, you meet the receptionist, you talk to her, you be real nice, blah blah blah, everything, pay her a compliment. As you're leaving, collect receptionist number. As you enter inside, you talk to case officer, you talk to this person, build some rapport, blah 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 blah, collect phone number. The next person you're going to, the same thing, collect email address, on and on and on and on, so that by the time you leave there and you go back to Benue State, back to Makudi, yes, you spent 12,000 coming, 12,000 going, maybe 10,000. Okay, no, 10,000 accommodation is, let's say 30,000 accommodation. So let's say you spent maybe 60K, At least you come back to Makudi, you have like 5, 6 phone numbers, so that by the time you're doing follow up and everything will be a whole lot easier, because you have 5 or 6 phone numbers, 1 or 2 email addresses, and maybe you became paddy with 1 or 2 of them. So it helps following up at the end of the day. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a Wonder Woman situation, you want to actualize your business, as she puts it. You want to start delivering more, start producing more. Our problem is not lack of finance. The problem is you don't have the skills that are necessary to acquire the finance. So with some sales skills and with some sales mindset, you can overcome the challenge of finding grants. If you'd love to connect with me, the number is 080-6466-2140. Country code is +234 for those of you who are not Nigerian. That's my WhatsApp number. Also, connect with me on socials. I'm on LinkedIn, Tavishima Ayede. You'll find me on YouTube, same name as well. Then, let's see. Tomorrow, since we've already done close to 40 minutes, tomorrow, okay, let me see, bootstrapping. No, I think we will ignore bootstrapping, and then tomorrow we should do sales. There's sales, there's equity, there's loans. Okay, tomorrow let's do sales. Let's ignore bootstrapping, because you don't necessarily need sales skills to bootstrap. All you have to do is just open your bank account, open your wallet, look at your pocket, and see how many coins are inside, and then gather them together. So you don't need sales skills for that. So yeah, that's what we'll look at tomorrow. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Again, shout out to Emmanuel Ejegbola. Big ups to the rest of you in Ife. Please share the show with our brothers and sisters in Ife, because if I remember correctly, I think you're the first person from Ife who is contacting me, and that's such a shame. I'm a product of you guys now. You people should show me some love. I've heard from everywhere. I've heard from Uniben, I've heard from UI, I've heard from ABU Zaria, I've heard from even universities in the UK. So Ife people, show your boy some love. So I'll catch you guys at the next episode.